is happening, Magnus sites? Oh boy. So, several of you sent this to me, want me to talk about this and see what I thought. And what I think is, it reminds me of the whole Ritchie Valens thing. You don't know who Ritchie Valens was? He was a singer back in the 50s, I believe. I think it was the 50s. He wrote the song La Bamba. The movie about it. Check it out. It's actually a good movie. And I think there was like a crash over his school of planes, and a piece of the wreckage actually fell on his friend. So from there he had a huge fear of flying, and only flew if he absolutely had to. That's how Ritchie Valens died, man, in a plane crash. And it was just like, wow. And it just reminds me of that, because it's one of those things where the kid was afraid. He didn't want to go. So let's check this out. I've been hearing little murmurings about it, and people were saying like he didn't want to go, but his dad wanted to, and it was kind of like, you know, doing it for dad, you know. And there's a lot of things sometimes we'll do for people that we love when our gut will tell us different, you know. And one thing you guys got to learn to discern between, because it can be a very similar feeling. There's trusting your gut. Your intuition can tell you something, okay? And then there's fear. I learned to figure it out around 25. And my gut has never been wrong. Ever. So, you know, if it's ever a situation, you know, sometimes people, you know, that they don't want to go to a party, or they don't want to go somewhere with somebody, but they do it for a friend, and then bad stuff ends up happening. That stuff, you hear about stories like that all the time. This person didn't want to go, and they went to the party, there was a shootout, and they got shot. It's like, it's stuff like that all the time. But it says, in the days before the Titan vessel went into the ocean off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada, the 19-year-old university student accompanying his father on the expedition expressed hesitation about going, his aunt said in an interview Thursday. Asma Dawood, the older sister of Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, told NBC News that her nephew, Sulman, informed a relative that he wasn't very up for it and felt terrified about the trip to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. I'm going to jump on something that's more of a law of attraction now. If you constantly feel a particular way, there is more chances of you attracting those types of situations. So if you're highly fearful of something, it might be best that you don't do it until there's a time and point where you feel good about the situation. Where you're like, you know what? Yeah, now it's time. I feel good. I think I can do it. Something like that. Because usually your body is warning you. If you're in the law of attraction, all that type of stuff, the body communicates on a whole different level, and your body and mind can sense something before it even happens, whether you believe it or not. It's communicating with you. It's feeling stuff that's going on. You'll think about a friend today and then see him in the corner store tomorrow, but you ain't seen him in 6 months. It's that type of stuff. It's like, I'm telling you. But anyway, if you look up, what's his name? But it's called The Strangest. Is it called The Strangest Secret? And he talks about how you become what you think about most of the time, or you get what you think about most of the time. And if you're a very fearful person, when you find that I'm telling you, listen, pay attention to the people you know. The woe is me people, bad stuff is always happening. The people that are usually in good spirits, good things just keep happening over and over and over. Yeah, bad stuff happens from time to time, but it doesn't have and nowhere near as much as what happens to the people that have bad energy or are terrified of a particular situation. You can be a person that's great energy, but be extremely terrified of a particular thing. Till you get over that fear, it's best that you don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's death defying. You know, if it's something that could get you hurt or killed, then I got a friend. Me and her were born on the same day, in the same hospital. Bad stuff is always happening to her. She is woe is me. But I checked her Instagram the other day. She's still making posts about, a strong woman's gonna do this and do that because she done left you behind. I'm like, God, she is still making posts about men doing her wrong. Like, you understand, I haven't talked to her in 2 or 3 years. And the last time I was talking to her, this is what was going on. I know I've gone off on a rant, but you guys got to understand, you stay in good energy, in good thoughts, in good mind. When something's off, you'll know. Stand firm. Make a firm decision. You got what I'm saying? But, the love for his father had him do it. Sometimes when you just need to step away from certain things. Listen, I love the hell out of Scarlo. She wants to go bungee jumping or skydiving. It's not happening. I don't care. I love you so much. Listen, my mother was alive today. If she wanted to go skydiving or bungee, it's not happening. Sorry, Mom. And she wasn't that type of person anyway. But if she was, I'm like, Mom, I'm not going. And I don't think you should either. But if you must, I support you. It says, but the 19-year-old ended up going aboard OceanGate's 22-foot submersible because the trip fell over Father's Day. See, then it's the double guilt. You're doing it for Dad, and it's Father's Day weekend. Then the guilt comes in. I mean, he was eager to please his dad, who was passionate about the lore of the Titanic, according to Esma. And I get it. They're probably like, they do this all the time. Like, come on. I know it's kind of crazy, but come on, go with me. Come on, man. My son. I get that, I'm thinking of Sulman, who is 19 in there, just perhaps gasping for breath. It's been crippling, to be honest. Asma said in a phone interview from the home in Amsterdam she shares with her husband. So this came out before we all found out, She was devastated on Thursday when OceanGate, the company behind Titan Expedition, confirmed that they all had passed away. The U.S. Coast Guard said that the debris in the search area was consistent with a catastrophic implosion. There's that word again. She says she's in disbelief. Man, that's some stuff, man. I am telling you, men, women, trust your instincts. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. And that's the weird thing. Sometimes, some people just, they're blinded by their, they love playing with chance. They love doing stuff that's kind of on the edge. They said Paul Walker was like that. And, and they said that when Paul Walker passed away, that I think there were people saying he died doing what he loved. And, he loved fast cars. He loved racing and going for joy rides. And, Paul being who he is, being in the franchise that he is, he knows the risks. It's still really sad because he was a really likable actor. He was a really likable celebrity. People really liked him. Reminds me kind of like how people like Henry Cavill. You know, people just he was a likable guy. You know, and you know it makes you wonder, like, did he have a funny feeling, or was he kind of blinded by his love of speed so much that any intuition he wouldn't have felt anyway? You know. Post comments down below. Let me know what you think. And yeah. Rest in peace to those 5 passengers. Again. Oh, man.